If there is a book that encapsulates the greatness of Latin American literature and, in a way, of the human spirit, it is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel García Márquez. This work is not just a book. It's an immersion into a magical realist world where the fantastical and the ordinary are so deeply intertwined that they become inseparable. 100 Years of Solitude represents, as few books do, Latin American identity and the universality of its themes, exploring history, culture, and human nature with a poetic and evocative prose that has marked generations of readers and writers alike. Below, I'll walk you through some of the highlights of this novel without revealing any key plot points so that you have the freedom to discover, page by page, the mysteries of Macondo. Macondo, the fictional town in which the story unfolds, is where the saga of the Buendía family takes place, a lineage trapped in an inevitable cycle of fate and repetition that seems impossible to break. From Macondo's founding to its inevitable apocalyptic end, the Buendía family symbolizes the human struggle against time, destiny, and, ultimately, against themselves. The story follows several generations of this family, beginning with José Arcadio Buendía and Úrsula Iguarán, the patriarchs whose love brings forth a dynasty seemingly cursed to repeat its mistakes. 100 Years of Solitude is a family epic that delves into the roots of human tragedy, presenting a mosaic of inner and outer conflicts, deep loves and resentments, discoveries and losses. Each generation of Buendía brings unforgettable, complex characters who, despite their repeated weaknesses, seek to transcend their fate in a near-desperate attempt to find peace and stability in a world that always seems on the verge of chaos. The characters in 100 Years of Solitude are not merely protagonists in a story. They are symbols and reflections of human complexities. José Arcadio Buendía, Macondo's founder, represents the drive to explore and understand the world, symbolizing ambition and self-destruction at once. His relationship with alchemy and forbidden knowledge renders him a tropical Prometheus, while his wife, Úrsula Iguarán, becomes the family's emotional and spiritual anchor, embodying tenacity and resilience. Úrsula is one of literature's most memorable figures, serving as the mother and grandmother who holds together each generation as it grapples with recurring conflicts, and, in many cases, the same mistakes. Other characters like Colonel Aureliano Buendía and Amaranta portray different shades of solitude, ambition, and regret. Aureliano, with his revolutionary passion and uncertain fight for a cause, reflects the disillusionment and inevitable frustration of a world that seems indifferent to his efforts. Amaranta, on the other hand, embodies the contradiction between desire and denial, love and hatred, and her story is one of the most moving and symbolic in this family saga. Each character in the novel is marked by a trait that becomes their fate, their solitude. This condition, in the end, weaves together the collective destiny of the Buendía family and the town of Macondo. Magical realism is the term that best describes 100 Years of Solitude's literary style. Gabriel García Márquez didn't invent the genre, but he certainly popularized and perfected it in this work. The essence of magical realism is to normalize the supernatural. In Macondo, it's perfectly ordinary for a character to ascend to the heavens, for unpredictable events to become commonplace, or for time itself to lose its typical logic. In this literary universe, the supernatural and the inexplicable are as much a part of life as love, pain, and death. García Márquez makes these magical events feel utterly natural, which leads us to question our own boundaries between reality and imagination. Through this blend of reality and fantasy, the author captures a culture in which myth and reality coexist, allowing themes such as fate, memory, and solitude to take on a symbolic, almost mythological dimension. 100 Years of Solitude is profoundly thematic, where each narrative element invites readers to reflect on destiny and history, repetition and change, memory and forgetfulness, love and solitude. One of the main themes is solitude, which affects each character differently, yet remains a shared fate within the family. This solitude appears to be an inherited curse, a collective destiny haunting the Buendías across generations. Through this family, Garcia Marquez explores how humans, despite their attempts at connection and love, seem destined to experience a fundamental loneliness, a separation that neither love nor desire can completely overcome. Memory and time are also central themes. The story of the Buendías is a cyclical one, a kind of curse to repeat the past over and over. The family's lack of memory or choice to forget certain experiences leads each generation to fall into the same traps, as if they were caught in an eternal cycle. Through this pattern, Garcia Marquez offers a reflection on destiny and history. Are we doomed to repeat the same mistakes from the past, or can we learn and break this cycle? Published in 1967, 100 Years of Solitude became a phenomenon that transcended Latin America's borders and achieved worldwide recognition. The novel became the symbol of a literary movement known as the Latin American boom, which broke away from conventional literary norms and showcased the richness and complexity of Latin American storytelling. The novel not only put Latin American literature on the world map, but also demonstrated that local stories could have a universal impact. Through the lives of the Buendías and the events in Macondo, Garcia Marquez touched on universal themes that resonate with people from any culture or background. His poetic prose, his focus on the mythical and magical aspects of everyday life, and his ability to capture human essence in so few words make this novel an indispensable classic. Gabriel García Márquez was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1982, and his acceptance speech, titled The Solitude of Latin America, extends the ideas he explores in 100 Years of Solitude. In many ways, the novel is a manifesto of Latin American identity, with its struggles, its pains, and its ability to find beauty and magic amid adversity. Reading 100 Years of Solitude is a unique, unforgettable experience. This novel offers a journey where you'll immerse yourself in a completely new world, which at the same time feels surprisingly familiar. It's a work that, beyond telling you a story, invites you to reflect on time, love, family, and the search for meaning in an uncertain universe. Garcia Marquez's prose is dense and poetic, yet it never overwhelms. Every phrase, every word seems chosen with precision to create an atmosphere as enveloping as the jungle surrounding Macondo. 100 Years of Solitude is a novel to be savored slowly, a story that captivates you and transports you to a world where magic and reality blend so intimately that you're left wondering if perhaps there is a bit of Macondo in our own lives. Immerse yourself in 100 Years of Solitude and discover a classic that will continue to resonate within you long after you finish reading. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share this recommendation. Together, we form a community of readers united by the magic of reading and the adventure of discovering new stories. Thank you.